I was asked to make another video showing the vacuum lines and how they're routed on this engine. I have not done anything with this truck since last November. You can see I even took the battery out, have it in the shed so it wouldn't freeze. One guy commented that this line is on the wrong. He commented that they should be up there. It was down here when I got the truck, and I did buy a new, this is the Egr Valve Solenoid, I believe is what they call it. And I bought a new one supposedly for this truck, except the mount ended up being different. And that one had like a foam filter over this top one. So I'm not sure which is correct. One guy commented that this line here had been broken, and that broke because I was tinkering around on there and the hose was cracked and weathered. So I replaced it with some new vacuum line. I tested this sensor, and this sensor tested good with the SunPro sensor tester that I have. This is the throttle position sensor. I actually bought two other ones because this was giving me the computer was saying this was bad. First one I got, there's a slot in there that lines up on this throttle shaft. First one I got from the outside looked identical, but the slot was in a totally different direction. And it was a real pain in the butt to get that one on. I did get it on and it ran worse. So I took that one off, took it to a different parts store, and they said, yeah, that was the wrong sensor. So then they gave me a different new one. I put that on. Didn't run any different than with this one. So then this water temperature sensor, I pulled that one out, the original one, and tested it, and it tested bad. And I had an extra one of these, and I tested that one, it tested good, so I put that one in. Then I did change the fuel filter. And then the O2 sensor, I tested that with the SunPro tester. I unplugged it here, hooked it up, and I tested it cold, and then I tested it as the engine warmed up, and according to the SunPro tester manual, it tested good. Now as for vacuum lines, you see there's one here from this ball down to the canister. The one from the canister down here goes up across the motor into this metal tube, and that's the one that comes over here to that line that broke. Now there is some rust right in there. I can't visually see any cracks, but could be leaking there. I replaced the little breather deal in there. I put new plug wires, new spark plugs, new cap and rotor. I have not replaced this yet. New air filter. Here's a vacuum line. I believe that one goes under the under the air filter cover. Or no, that's the one that actually goes to the... That might be the one that goes... Yeah, that goes under the air filter cover. This is the one that goes to the Egr valve. This one here. This goes to this plate. That's where it gets the vacuum. Here's the hose from the manifold. Comes up to the splitter. This one goes inside the cab. This line goes up over on top of the brake cylinder. It's this one here. And that goes to this ball. And here's the brake cylinder hose vacuum line. That probably goes to there. I changed the oil, replaced the oil filter. What it does is, when I start the truck, the check engine light will flash, and it's not a repeating pattern. It'll come on, go off. It might stay on longer, might stay off longer at different times. And what it does is, when you're idling, when the light comes on, it idles rough. And then if you're driving, when the light comes on, it like hesitates, misfires. I also replaced the electronic fuel pump in the gas tank, because that had quit working on me. And I don't know what else to do. I've had it running, and I've tried spraying soapy water to see if there's any air leaks. I've tried spraying carburetor cleaner. The motor itself fluctuates so much when it's running that it's hard to tell if it picked up speed or anything from the carburetor cleaner, because you know the motor, it's all over the place. And it's starting to be a pain. The Egr valve I bought new at I think it was a Napa dealer, but I've tried unplugging the Egr valve. Doesn't really seem to make much difference. When I took the original Egr valve off, I made a plate to block it off, bolted that on there. It seemed to run better, but you know, the service engine light was on all the time, and I kind of like to not have that light on, so I couldn't leave well enough alone, so I went and bought a new Egr valve, and that's how I ended up chasing my tail like a dog. But if there's any other questions or any tips or advice, I'd appreciate it. I'll try bringing the battery out and then starting it up and make another video. But thanks again. If you can check out my YouTube channel and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. And leave any comments, good or bad. I've gotten some bad comments on some of my videos, but any constructive advice is appreciated. And thank you again.